You are live. Here I am, y'all. Here I am. I'm sorry, my lips are dry. Uh, and I'm not flipping you off. I don't know why, but I always use my middle finger to put stuff on my lips like that. I'm not flipping you off. I love y'all. I love y'all. So, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on over here and move this water and check and make sure that you guys can hear me. And then we're going to go from there. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Let me check here. Okay. There we are. It says I'm live now. There we are. It says I'm live now. Okay. All right. Y'all can hear me? Good. Yay. This is day 5, y'all. This is day 5 of the 5-day Single Moms Fear to Freedom Challenge. The Fear to Freedom Challenge, day 5. This is the last day of the challenge, but it's not the last day for you to watch replays if you're just coming in and watching. So, my name is Bess Parks, and I am the co-creator and the co-founder of Single Moms Level Up. I like to say hashtag Single Moms Level Up. And also the co-creator and the co-founder of the Single Moms Club, which is a private Facebook group where this all started. It all started in this private Facebook group, and also on Instagram. On Instagram, we're Single Moms Level Up, and on Facebook, we are Single Moms Level Up as well. So we're here in the challenge, and every month in the Single Moms Club and on the Single Moms Level Up YouTube page now, we run challenges once a month. So what's this challenge stuff all about? What it's all about is for what I found in my life is that when I challenge myself, I'm my only competition. When I challenge myself to level up my thinking, which just means to expand my thinking, to open up my mind, and to see things from a different view. I can you know, uh, increase and basically level up my life. So if I could change my mind and renew my mind, then I can see things differently and go from level to level in my life, in every area of my life, not just one area, but in the 5 areas that I found in my life that when I pay attention to those, not saying they're always going to be balanced out, but when I pay attention to them and set goals and have courses of action, how I'm going to reach these goals, and then write down what the benefits would be of me reaching those goals. When I do that in a journal, often, I can't even say yearly because sometimes it depends on the size of the journal. If I go through 2 or 3, maybe 4 journals, if they're small journals, or sometimes I have come across some journals where there were like 350 or 330 pages, which are more like a book. And I like those because they last almost a whole entire year. But if there are small journals, like let me show you this one, which is a good starter journal, which is this here. So this is the journal, the exact journal that is in the Single Moms Queen Kit. That is the giveaway. It's the giveaway for once a month. I do a giveaway, and I've started giving away Single Mom Queen Kits. They're changed. They don't have the same thing in them all the time. But this is something that I found and wanted to give to the single mom that has contributed and participated the most in a monthly challenge. So I've been giving these away, once a month, and this is part of what's in the box that comes to you. So yes, there is a box now that has been created, and this comes to you, and I think this is only 65 pages or so, so it's kind of thin. Um, those pages are very white, so it's kind of thin for me. It's kind of thin. But if you're just starting out, it may just be perfect for you. You don't have to journal every day. But I mean, if you can, it helps you out. But at least maybe once a week or something, journal, or every few days, or whenever you feel up to journaling. But journaling, at least for me, it helps me to organize my thoughts, helps me to get rid of the things that I don't need in my head, basically do a brain dump, because we take in so much from our ears to what we're listening to, what we're watching on TV, what we're watching on social media. There's so much being just um, poured out into us like a fire hose that a lot of times we don't let it out, and it stays in our mind and recirculates and recirculates and recirculates. And then that's where a lot of the fear comes from. It brings up old things from the past, and then old habits, hurts, and hangups come up. And then next thing you know, you are in a state of fear. A state of fear, and fear can do several things. It can actually paralyze you. It can make you run and keep running, and then you're running around in circles, and you're just chaotic, and everything's going crazy. Or you can stop and break it down. And so that's what we've been talking about this whole week, was about breaking down fear. So we went to what the F and fear, the F and fear. We talk about the evidence. Where's the evidence? And then we talked about the appearance. How does fear appear in your life? And how can you recognize it and see it and address it? And then we talked about the R in it, and that is what's real, the real. Most people have heard this saying, and just in case if you haven't, I'll say it, that fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I've come to find that that statement is very true, because a lot of times when I'm faced with fear, it is not, wow, really? I'm about to piss on myself. Y'all, did I say that I'm live? This is for real live. Like, people busting in my room, all kinds of stuff. This is live. But anyway, but false evidence appearing real. I've come to find that that's very true. At least, I've seen, and I look back at my life, I was like, there's a lot of times that I fell victim to, or was bamboozled by something that wasn't real. It was false, and it was appearing real, but it wasn't really real. And if I would have took the time to break it down, I could have got that out of my life a lot sooner, and continued on my course. But I've learned some things as a single mom, and some things that I've learned in my past that helped me in my past before I was a mom. I had let go when I became a single mom. And one of those was self-care. I had totally let go of my self-care. I gained a lot of weight. Truthfully, I was hiding because I didn't want to be seen. And food became my comfort. And so in order for me to let go of some things, I got to let go of the stuff that's in my head, the things that were replaying in my head that are not real. They're not real. They're not true. And I found that breaking this fear down will lead me to the freedom. So I've been led to some freedoms in my life, and it's working some things out. Physically, it's working some things out. Mentally, it's working some things out. But I've noticed that once my mind changes, that everything else goes with it. When I get a changed mind, I get and or invigorated. I get the energy to work out. I put things in a plan. I write things down in my journal, and I set goals for what I want to do. And you don't have to wait till New Year's to do this. This doesn't have to be like a New Year's resolution. You can do this at any point in time during the year, any point in time when you feel like things have just gone off the rails, And so I've done this several times in my life, and things have, when things just feel like they've gotten off the rails, and I keep coming back to this journaling. And I realized that when I moved from one house to the other, and I found so many journals. I ended up filling a box full of journals. And then I started looking through them and started seeing the changes that happened. And then I started seeing the ones where the most change happened was when I did my journaling in the way that I do now. And I didn't invent this. I did not invent this way of journaling. I was introduced to it in a passion and purity class at a church, the singles class, and so I was introduced to it there at during a time that my mom had passed away. My sister passed away two years earlier, and I returned back to the church that I was raised in, and things were still consistent. They were still very consistent, and had the resources available there for singles, for married couples, for the they didn't really have anything for divorced couples. Now that I think about it, divorced couples fell into singles too. A lot of people fall into singles that need a little bit more help than just being single. So that's where I started seeing that there was a lack in there. I mean, I appreciated that the daycare, they would watch your kids, while you're attending these Bible classes, Bible study classes, and that's much appreciated and much needed. Not saying that that goes away, but there's more that needs to be done, especially for single parents. So uh, um, that's something that I came across, that was lacking, and because I couldn't like keep up, with my kids and everything, participating in things of that sort, when my church, if I wanted to, if they didn't have if they didn't have childcare, not daycare, childcare is what I meant. But anyway, so being free, and how to get free is what we're talking about today. So we're talking about that here in day 5 of the single mom of the 5-day single mom spirit of freedom challenge. Today is the day that we're going to get free. So after we address all those things, after we address the F, the E, the A, and the R, after we address those, then we can become free. We can become free of whatever it is that is holding our minds hostage. That's where it all starts. It starts in our mind. So if we think and focus on the things that are of no use, no valuable use to us, that things that make us think about the bad things, or things that make us think about bad situations or bad circumstances that we're in, or all things that don't benefit and actually push us and move us forward, need to be let go. And it's hard to let go of those things. But if we have a plan in place for when fear comes upon us, and we break down all these things, the F, the E, the A, the R, and figure out, is this fear appearing real? Is this false evidence appearing real? Or is this for real, for real? You know? And mind you, there's like I said before, throughout the days this week, there is a fear that we need to be aware of. There is a fear that we need to run, because it's life threatening. And that fear, we don't play with that. We don't break nothing down, you know. Um, but sometimes you might need to, because you might be stuck and paralyzed because of the fear. But break it down and say, okay, this is life threatening and I need to move. This is real. I need to move. There's a reason I'm fearful right now, because I need to move, and do what you got to do to get out of the situation, you know, um, safely, to get out of the situation safely. And, I pray that none of y'all have to go through that. Pray that you never have to go through that and have to make that decision, and have to face something that's life threatening like that. Um, but anyway, ways to get out and get to your freedom is challenging. It's challenging, and it's definitely challenging. So the thing with me, and something that I had always been afraid of, and that I always had a fear about, was speaking in front of people, speaking publicly, speaking in doing presentations, speaking in front of my classmates, all of that. I used to be afraid of that to the point that I would actually cry through the whole thing because I was so afraid of saying the wrong thing, so afraid of mispronouncing things, so afraid of all kinds of stuff that there was no reason for me to be afraid of. If I make a mistake, I just correct it. Nobody's perfect. And I think that's where that fear came from, is because I had it in my mind that I needed to be perfect. I had it in my mind that I needed to be perfect. And if I wasn't perfect, then I shouldn't do it. So I became fearful of everything because it wasn't perfectly done. It wasn't perfectly planned out. It wasn't perfect because, perfect in every way. The words weren't perfectly coming out. Then I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't do it. I wasn't going to, no, I'm not doing it. If that was in my mind, and I had that in my mind for so long, it was crazy. And it took the passing of my sister and my mother and moving halfway across the country to get me to speak in front of other people, to speak to people, to not be afraid to say and state my opinion, and to not feel offended if nobody wants to listen, or if not be offended if somebody doesn't agree. There were a lot of things, and for me, that came from my childhood, because I grew up during an era where children were supposed to be seen and not heard. So if I didn't say anything, it was nobody really, they didn't they didn't try to, have a conversation with me or nothing. I grew up around a bunch of adults, because I was the baby of the family. So, they just kept on talking. And of course, if adults are talking, you better not say nothing. But anyway, with me being all quiet and everything, the interesting thing is that now I'm hosting these lives, and have been hosting these lives since 2020. During the pandemic, that's when I did my first Facebook Live, and I did what I knew. I'm an interior designer by trade and have a bachelor's degree and over 20 years experience. So I decided to show people my home, show them why I did these, and show them different design concepts, and why you do things the way, why designers do things the way they do. And I did that for about 60 days straight, every day for 60 days. It was a new concept that I would approach. And it was really brief, really brief things. I think it was maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then I redid my house during the pandemic, or was that during? No, that was just before the pandemic that I redid the house. And so I showed people the house, um, showed them the artwork, showed them like how you hang stuff, showed them how you can mix different patterns and everything, showed them all those things, talked about the psychology behind interior design. It was a live that I would do, and it was called Be the Best with Bess. And it actually was on my personal Facebook page, because I didn't know anything about private. Yeah, I didn't know anything about private Facebook groups. I didn't know about having my own Facebook page for that, which I did end up starting a Facebook page called Be the Best with Bess. And the interesting thing is that a lot of people had always said that when I after I had I've been in like customer service and retail for a while now. And so when after I've helped people to do whatever design thing that I'm helping them out with doing, in whichever area of design I'm in, they they would say, "Oh my gosh, you're the best." And then I had this manager that used to say, "You the best, you the best, you the best." And so I started signing off that way. So then I ended up calling it Be the Best with Bess. And I would have never done that years ago, because I didn't think that I was the best at anything. It was the things that I was thinking about myself and what I was telling myself and what was on repeat that stopped me from doing what I enjoy doing, which is I enjoy doing interior design. I enjoy doing interior design. I enjoy being a mom. Um, yes, it gets rough at times at different stages, but I enjoy being a mom. And I started enjoying being a mom um, after my mom died. After yeah, I'm just trying to think when I started really enjoying being a mom. After my mom died, and then also after 2007 when I lost my job. Huh? Okay, just as long as you put some pants or something. Um, I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, I thought my door was locked. You little thief! You don't unlock the door and came in. I had to pee. Wow. Like we don't have another bathroom in the house. Oh, somebody's in there? Okay. Anyway, my door was locked and she got in anyhow. Mm, she is my child. But anyway, so I was doing I realized that I like being a single mom, and I became and understood the freedom of being a single mom. You know, you can be comfortable being a single mom. We can be comfortable being a single mom by just realizing, okay, so it's all me. It's all good that it's all me. So just start making some decisions like it's all on you. Stop waiting for somebody to come help you. Stop waiting for Prince Charming to show up on his white horse and take you away and make everything all good, because it would be better. What would be better is if you got yourself together. And then that way, when you get your own self together, nobody else can change that but you. So if somebody comes and goes in your life, it's not a big deal, because they're not taking a piece of you with them. They're not making you. They're not who makes you. They're not the one who completes you. Though everybody likes that line in that movie. You know that movie. You know that movie. Show me the money. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know that movie. But it's not true. Another person doesn't complete you. You, we complete ourselves. We complete ourselves by paying attention and completing ourselves and accepting ourselves as we are, by renewing our minds so that we can renew our bodies, so that our hearts will be renewed. Allow our hearts to be renewed by, by God. God can renew our hearts and everything. Um, uh, you can find ways to that come easy to you. Find things that come easy to you. And the final thing in being free is obviously our finances. So when our finances are good, we have the opportunity and the option to choose, different things, to choose and have the option to not go over here today. To, oh, okay, my money's good. I have things in line. I have things in order. I got a savings. I have a budget. I budgeted for this, time off with my kids. All of that, we're free to do that when we have our finances in order. I'm getting there, and I realized that didn't have financial literacy. I realized that in 2020, and so I signed up with a program with a couple. They go by His and Her Money, Ty and Talit. And they have a YouTube channel, and it's free. The YouTube channel is free, and I started listening to them, and then I went ahead and did that in 2019 or 2020, early in January. And so they had a whole deal and everything, and so I did that, and I became part of their I think it's called Couples U or something like that. But anyway, it's a financial literacy community. And so I became a part of that, and I learned so much stuff so many things about myself and my financial literacy and how I didn't know some things. And then I attended a single moms summit. I think that single moms summit came back last year, but it happened during a time that I was not able to attend. But it was a single mom summit, and there were like 40 different single moms in there, and they talked about some of the there were not just single moms, there were moms, but there were some single moms in there that talked about how they got out of debt. There was the budgetista, and that's the one lady that she was a teacher, and on a teacher's salary, she saved up over $30,000 on a teacher's salary. And so she was there, and then there were all kinds of information there. And I was like, wow, all this information was out there. And I wasn't, I hadn't known about all of them. Some of the techniques and the tools that were taught, I had been aware of it because I did the 9 Steps to Financial Freedom from Susie Orman, and she had talked about a lot of those financial literacy and to ways to manage your finances. She had talked about those. So our finances will all come together when we address things in our lives. When we address individual things or particular things like fear, when we address things about ourselves that we fear about ourselves, things that we fear that other people put on us, and things that we fear that society and social media and all that stuff puts on us, that runs through our minds. We need to filter and have a filter for that. And a lot of the things that I told you this week would be a great way to filter through that, because some of those fears come up, and they sit, and they just soak up your creativity, and they soak up your intellect, they soak up your self-confidence, all of that, by having these things just in your head and in your mind. So we really need to be careful about what we listen to, what we're watching, what we think about, what we focus on in our minds, and we can have freedom in our finances. So that freedom comes, and it helps us to make better financial decisions when we actually address the fears. So when we address the fears, it will help our finances, it will help us physically, mentally, and emotionally, and that's how we become free. So when we're helped out, when we help ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally, spiritually, by connecting to our spirit selves, we could do that, and become free. So we have to be open to that, and it all starts with our mind. We have to break things down and see, is this real or is this not? Is this something I should be afraid of or I shouldn't be afraid of? Is this a healthy fear that's trying to save me from a life-threatening situation, or is this false evidence appearing real? So we need to address all of that, and know that these things don't come from nowhere. Sometimes they come from past hurts, habits, and hangups. I've had to address some things, and your children are the ones. They are the secret weapon that us single moms have, because our kids bring up our past. They bring up our past hurts, our past hangups, and we've got to address them. We got to address them and not take it out on them, and realize that we might be responding from something old, and that might be the whole issue. And then the people that might be in our lives that are putting these fears on us, and telling us, who knows what. They could be telling us awful things like, we won't be able to do anything without them. We can't, do this without them. We cannot financially this, that. It's a bunch of load of crap, and we gotta filter through all that too. And again, I'm gonna keep saying that journaling helps. Journaling helps, and what I've recently started doing was I have a vision board and a journal. So I have a vision board, and then I've got a journal as well. So I have something visually that I can see when I wake up in the morning. It's right by, not on the wall by my bed, and I could turn over and see that vision board and be like, you know what? I need to get up and get to that. Get up and get to that. And then my journal is on the table across from my bed. And so I can journal at any point in time, and write down the things that I want to write down for that day. Or if I'm having a rough day, I write it down. Because people aren't always available. People have their own lives to live, and we can't always just be giving all these things and dropping it on somebody else. And now we feel better, but they feel bad because we just dropped a whole bunch of stuff on them. Not to say that we can't talk about things, but just be careful about putting too much on somebody else. So the freedom is to know when and how to break that fear down. To know that we will have a freedom to do the things and to set the goals in every area of our lives, especially in our finances as single moms, if we address things as they come to us. Um, and that's all I gotta say, y'all. So I'm going to leave this up. And if you do need resources for finances, resources for counseling, resources for budgeting, resources for fixing your credit, resources for some stay at home jobs, all of that, I'm going to post the resource page. I always do that at the end of the challenge. Um, I'm going to post the single mom resource page. I just put on Alex Good Energy is on here on this page now. Alex Good Energy is a dispatching. He has a dispatch mastery class, and he also has a trucking mastery class. So if that's something that you want to do, and mind you, you could homeschool if you truck. If you're trucking, you could homeschool your kids from the truck, and you guys could actually have adventures and use that as part of the curriculum for your kids. And you could travel throughout the United States with you and your kids doing the trucking. Of course, you do have to have your own truck to do that. You're not supposed to have kids in the truck when you are trucking was for somebody else, because that's a liability, and a lot of them don't want that liability. So anyway, there's some things on this resource page. Some of the books that I mentioned are on there. Also, some of the books, if you want to try out Audible, are on the featured page, and you can get one free read. If it's your first time doing Audible, you can do that and get one free read and read through one of those books, listen through one of those books, I should say. And just be great, y'all. Be great. We can be great. You're doing a good job, single mom. You are doing a good job. You're doing a good job. You're not in competition with anybody else. There is no competition. There is nobody judging you. And if they're judging you, they are not the judge. Know that. They're not the judge. The only person that can judge you is God. And the reason he's the judge is because he's the only one that can judge between right and wrong. Because he's the only one. He's the only one. So their opinion doesn't count. Everybody else's opinion doesn't count about how you raise your children, how you're doing, and how you just their opinion doesn't count. Single mom, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. Challenge yourself if you'd like to do things better. Challenge yourself to go and do some self-education. Challenge yourself to do some self-love. Challenge yourself to do some self-care, and start from wherever you are. If self-care ends up being just once a year, let it be once a year. And then the following year, change it to once a month. And then the following year, change it to once a week. That's what I did. That's how I got back to it. you know and then now when I start feeling worn out and everything, I was like, when was the last time that I took care of me? And then a lot of times I'm like, dang, it's been a minute. So when we're okay, our kids are okay. So these videos will be up, the replays will be up until Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we will have the giveaway for whoever it is that decides that they want to be a contributor and do likes and shares and put comments. And when you watch the replays, just let me know that you're watching replay. and share this with somebody. And whoever is the top contributor that has not won a Single Moms Queen kit in the past 90 days will get a shout out from me. And I will tag you and let you know that you've won. And of course, you have to be a part of the Single Moms Club. YouTube, I'm so sorry. You have to be a part of the Single Moms Club. So if you're on the Single Moms Level Up YouTube page, you can actually go and search the Single Moms Club. You'll see this logo. You'll see this on the face page, and that's for this challenge. I leave it up. I'll leave it up all the way through Tuesday, probably even a couple days after that. But I'll leave it up through next week, and you'll see that the challenge name. This is the challenge name here too. The 5-day Single Mom Spirit of Freedom Challenge. You'll see that as the cover page. But you can join. It's a free Facebook group. There's no charge for it, but there are 3 questions. And I ask that you answer the 3 questions honestly. And that's so we ask, not just we ask that you answer those questions honestly. And the reason we're asking for that is so that we can better serve you, so that the community stays supportive of each other. Because so there are some group rules which are on the page. I believe you could see it on the page what the group rules are. So we'd like for you to agree with that. And then just answer the questions that are there. If you decide that you don't want to answer some of those questions, just know that you might miss out on something. You might miss out on something. So, anyway, I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you on Tuesday for the giveaway. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. If you want to binge watch, just know that these are 30-minute sessions. This one's going pretty long because I'm just wrapping it up. But these are 30-minute sessions. So basically, you could sit and binge watch this in 2.5 hours and put your comments and whatever else, binge watch it in 2.5 hours and, be in the running for a Single Mom Queen kit as long as you and share, and post. Like, share, and post. And Facebook is keeping track of that for me. And we'll see you on Tuesday on the giveaway. Hashtag Single Moms Level Up. Bye. Enjoy your evening, y'all. Evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, because this is an international Facebook page. Talk to you soon.